Robots Radio presents
Fresh Tomatoes, the movie podcast.
I'm not usually a hat fan, but wow.
Jeg vil ikke være en dagger.
I'm really sipping on that dumb bitch juice today, and
Yeah, I am. But you know what? Someday I just might grow out of that. But you will never stop being a jerk.
All chocolate cakes are good. You're a fascist.
it's hideous.
It's horrible.
It's home. Angry white boy, let's go!
Hello, and welcome to Fresh Tomatoes, the movie podcast, the podcast that teaches you that no matter how much you lie, you will always get away with it. That's Simone LaRue.
And that's Chad Ekowitz. Chad, what a beautiful way for us to end out the new year with lies.
That's what everyone does at this time of year, Simone. We make our New Year's resolutions, and how many do we achieve, and how many do we stick to? Let's be honest.
True. That is
the
true.
world is terrible.
You know, this time last year, I actually should have gone back and listened. But this time last year, Chad, we talked about where we want to be in a year.
Oh my God. Yes, we did. To be honest with you, I don't remember that conversation at all because both of us were very, very drunk this time.
And so sad.
And so sad. It had been a year, hadn't it? And I mean, like, this year is a bit better, I would say. What would you say?
Miles better. Listen, I think if I remember correctly, I said that in a year minimum, I wanted to be employed and out of debt. And I am employed.
There you go. 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
And working my way out.
Exactly. I think that's the thing with debt recovery. You got to inch it. It's not a one-stroke wonder. You've just got to inch by inch.
Exactly. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, the moment I get a salary, I'll be able to pay everything back. Like I don't eat food.
Yeah, or pay rent, or want to do fun things.
Exactly. Like if I didn't want to enjoy my life, I would be debt free. But here I am.
Yeah, I mean, if you just stopped
happier.
eating avocado toast, Simone, you would have been debt free. You guys would have probably had a house by now.
I'd have a house by now. You're absolutely right.
That actually reminds me of one of the things that I said last year, which was I wanted to move out of my parents' place.
Yes.
So
and
there we go. And
look
here
at
we
him.
are. I'm in my own place, suffering in freezing
us.
cold conditions. But you know what? It's my place. I get to do what I want. I can do whatever I want when I want. You know?
I love this for you.
It's great.
Love it.
Last night, I turned the couch into the sleeper and I slept in the lounge while watching crap. Like, it was brilliant. Could I do that at my parents' house? No, they don't have a sleeper couch. Doesn't work.
That's the only reason.
Yeah, that's the only reason. So it's absolutely, so that's tick for both of us.
Yeah,
so that's good.
Nice.
Yeah, look at us. We're making our goals. So then you got to ask the question, what do you want for 2022?
Oh God, I fear hoping for more, you know?
I get you. Be cautiously optimistic. What's like a minor thing that you would like to happen in the next year?
I would like to have a couple more of my short stories published.
Beautiful. Nice.
I think that's reasonable.
And
I would like to have at least written maybe the first draft of a novel. I know I said that last year, but this year for sure.
In a year? You're a mad woman. That's
a novella, maybe.
Okay, like 100-page story. Yeah,
fair, and I'll flesh it out. You know.
Yeah, exactly. It builds. I think. So, I mean, it all sort of signs point to January of 2022 being a lockdown for us in the UK. You know, finally, our Prime Minister is doing one thing right. He realizes, washing hands is not the way to beat a pandemic. So potentially,
interesting.
Very interesting. So hopefully that will mean that I will go and live with Georgette for the sort of the whole of the lockdown. So I think
nice.
Yeah, I think my one wish for 2022 is that we survive that.
Yeah, that is a test.
Yeah, so that would be my attainable goal for 2022.
My only advice as someone whose relationship survived several lockdowns is like have your own spaces to retreat to. Just like you can't be in each other's space all the time. You can't do it.
Right. Okay. That's good to know. She lives in a studio apartment, so that might be a bit more difficult, but we're gonna try. Does
she not want to try staying in your place?
No, because she has to go to work. She's an essential worker, so she has to go into the office. That's the problem. Otherwise, like we would have definitely come here because I've got the bigger apartment. But
Wow. Praying for you guys.
I'll buy some masking tape and I'll just put it down the middle of the apartment. And just
healthy.
No, we'll be.
Or you just
fine.
Occasionally scream, "Don't look at me!" and then you get some private time.
I mean, both of us do that anyway when either of us go to the toilet. We're still in that really adorable phase where it's sort of just like. I'm still
like that's my private space, but again, I don't live in a studio, so.
That's true. That is true. But yeah, it's headphones in, listen to other things while I'm in the toilet. That's the rule.
That's polite, I think.
Yeah,
that's very English.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, I think we'll be fine. We'll get through this. We're a good couple. We're gonna have a fighting chance.
Yeah. I believe in you two, crazy kids.
Thank you very much. And talking of crazy kids, excellent segue. Couldn't thank you enough. What movies are we doing this week for the last week of the year?
Nice. Well, the first one is a bit of a treat to ourselves. We are doing After We Fell. We continue to follow this saga, this romantic epic, wherever it takes us.
Oh, and it is taking us so many places, Simone. I couldn't be happier. I really couldn't be happier with the places it is taking us. And the second movie that we are not so excited for?
We're doing Dear Evan Hansen, a movie that is over 2 hours long.
2 hours and 17 whole minutes.
And it does not need to be.
No, it does not. My synopsis for this one is very short because nothing really happens in the middle. So yikes. Yeah. So let's see who goes first. What are you drinking?
I am having a screwdriver.
Ooh, I don't actually know what's in a screwdriver.
So it's vodka and orange juice.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Very, very simple, very easy.
Yeah, very summary. We had a braai yesterday and I bought like all the ingredients for screwdrivers and then just ended up drinking wine. Fair. So now I've got a bunch of fresh orange juice that I need to finish.
Nice. Not a bad thing. It's one of your 5 a day.
Yeah, exactly. I think so. So that's what I'm doing. I also learned a valuable lesson yesterday because I bought this juice that I really like that is delicious. It's a beetroot pomegranate blendy thing.
Sounds interesting.
I like it because it's not too sweet. Very nice with vodka, not good with gin.
Really?
It's just bitter on weird.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. All right. Look, life is a kaleidoscope of trials and challenges, and you're learning moment by moment. That's very amazing. I'm so happy for you. Honestly, when you held up your drink, your screwdriver to the camera, I thought you were just drinking a fuck off big thing of limoncello, and I was like, who hurt you? Who hurt you? And when did you become a serial killer? Just a pint glass.
No, I love limoncello, but not that much.
No.
This is actually, I'm very much enjoying this summer, so we're not at last year's levels of depression drinking.
Just a big old pint glass of whiskey. Yeah.
Yeah, if I could.
Oh, Simone.
No. Last year, I mean, I'm fine now. I'm really,
yes.
I'm in a very good place.
Much better place. Yeah.
These are happy drinks.
Yes, exactly.
What are you drinking?
So I'm a bit of a fancy boy today. So I don't know if you know this, but I invested in Brewdog last year. I bought some shares in Brewdog because they were doing sort of a public offering. And one of their perks, if you bought a set amount of shares, was to give you a gift. And one of the gifts was an exclusive 24-pack of a beer that wasn't going to be out on the shelves. So it was exclusive to sort of us investors. So today I am drinking a Hello, my name is Gail Brewdog exclusive beer, which is a wind-powered IPA.
How is it wind-powered?
Well, I think they mean because they're really big on sort of being carbon negative and stuff. So it was made without any electricity, I assume. It was made with wind power
just with like
generators.
Wind.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, it's very tasty. Honestly, it's delicious. I'm very happy with it, and I got 24 of them. Very happy with that.
Nice.
That will
love
last
that
me
for you.
a while. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So very nice. I feel like a very fancy boy, and
you look like a very fancy boy.
I am the fanciest boy. I got a little badge as well that said that I'm an equity punk. That was fun.
Ooh.
So, yeah, very, very fun. So I guess you do go first because vodka is always going to be stronger than beer, even though this is 6%, which is a decent.
Oh, that is pretty strong for a beer.
But I want to ask you, okay, I know you're supposed to go first, but do we just want to get Evan Hansen out the way?
No, let's just start with After We Fell, because I feel like we have a lot of feelings about Evan Hansen that we just have to,
just go through.
Get through.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. So the important thing here to note, everybody, is that a lot of actors have swapped out roles. We still have Josephine Langford playing Tessa. We still have Hero Fiennes Tiffin playing Hardin. But the swaps that we have are Stephen Moyer replaces Charlie Weber as Christian Vance. Mira Sorvino replaces Selma Blair as Carol Young. And Chance Perdono, who many of you will recognize from The Chilling Tales of Sabrina, replaces Shane Paul McGee as Landon. Oh, and Ariel Cabell replaces Candace King as Kimberly. So that's a good chunk of the cast. Louise Lombard still plays Trish, who is Hardin's mom. That's more or less. It's a very small cast movie.
Those are the key players, really.
Okay, so we pick right up where we left off. Tessa has been offered this job in Seattle, and Hardin is like, no, but I thought we would move to London after graduation. And considering they're both still in first year canonically, I don't really see how any of this works, but cool. But Tessa, it seems like she's going to transfer to a school in Seattle so that she can also take this job, which is her dream job. So they're fighting about that. And then also, Tessa's dad has come back into the picture. He's like homeless and an alcoholic. It's very sad. So naturally, Hardin goes out drinking with him the first time he's mad at Tessa.
Yep.
It's great. She gets to pick them both up from a bar. Luckily, Hardin just sexes his way back into her heart.
Unbelievable.
The two of them continue fighting back and forth about whether she should move, why doesn't Hardin want to come with her. It basically kind of settles on like, no, Hardin got her this job because he loves her so much, even though he can't go with her, but he can.
He very much
he just doesn't really want to move to Seattle, which I guess is fair. But then don't act like it's a huge sacrifice on your part.
Exactly.
Baby.
Look, we'll get into it.
At least after they've been like having all these like super toxic fights, they managed to spend some time apart as Tessa moves to Seattle, and she stays with her boss and her boss's girlfriend, who's now pregnant, or wife. I
think wife. I'd say wife.
Who's now pregnant. Yay!
Woo!
And with some distance, Hardin also reads Tessa's diary that he finds randomly and is like, oh wow, I have been really shitty. Luckily, Tessa doesn't have to self-reflect at all. And he takes out boxing instead of drinking. I guess that's the thing.
It's healthy.
But anyway, the next time they get in touch, actually, they're doing really well. They're both trying their best to communicate more. And Hardin's like, oh, my mom's getting married in England, and Tessa's like, well, I'd love to come, and he's like, fine, I guess we'll go, because he apparently wasn't planning to go to his own mother's wedding.
Nice guy.
So they go to London, and still those two are doing solid until Hardin walks in on his mom having sex with Hardin's father figure / Tessa's boss / the mom's old friend. And he's like, what? But you're getting married tomorrow. And she's like, no, you don't understand. Anyway, they have a big fight. She gets married anyway. But then afterwards, Hardin goes to talk to his mom, and she's like, oh no, Hardin goes to talk to the dude.
To Vance,
and this is where the movie ends, guys. It turns out that guy is Hardin's dad, not the other. Remember the dean in the first movie that we've entirely forgotten about? That's not Hardin's dad.
No, big shock and super emotional for all of us, really, while a Frey song plays in the background.
The end.
Good on you. What is your cliffhanger, please?
Oh, it's obviously got to be this fucking terrible scene, which is, it's this one. So to set the scene, they've just had sex in a jacuzzi, a thing that
oh my god, gross,
people don't do.
So grim. We'll go through the sex scenes because Jesus Christ, like I have feelings and thoughts.
Regardless, they've just had sex in a jacuzzi, supposedly, and now they're chilling. And it seems like they're really both opening up. And Hardin's like, are you moving to Seattle because you have feelings for Trevor, who has not been in the movie?
No.
They could not get Dylan Sprouse in for this.
Wasn't having it. Wasn't gonna come back.
And she was like, no, like definitely not. Like it's my dream job. Like I keep telling you. And he's like, oh, I mean, did you ever have feelings for him? Like, you can tell me. And then she does tell him. And then he just walks the fuck out.
Like, completely freaks the fuck out. I love it. It's so good.
He's such an asshole.
Oh my God. Like, from the very first moment in this movie, like, literally 5 minutes in, he is picking fights with her. And, like, it's just... what we love, I think what we do love about these movies is the same reason why people watch NASCAR. It's the fact that you don't come for the races, you come for the car crashes. And this is what their relationship is. Just one
non-stop
massive car crash.
Hello, and welcome to Fresh Tomatoes Podcast, the intrepid adventurers going where no one asked them to go. That's Chad Ekowitz.
And that's Simone LaRue. Very apropos for 2022 and our lives in general. Just on a journey that no one asked us to go.
No one asked us to make this journey, and yet here we are.
And here we are. Have you ever been called to adventure? Has that ever happened in your life? Like someone's just approached you and be like, good madam, please go and find this quest or something. Yeah, like a proper quest, like a proper call to action.
Know. I mean, I guess like if you wanted to take a really rosy view of life, you could view your job as a quest. Certainly working with kids for a while feels like a quest.
It's a battle that can never be won.
The screaming mob at once.
But they are unrelenting. The energy they produce is unquantifiable. There's no way we could ever
stop them. You didn't give them candy, did you?
Oh no.
But I mean, I like adventure in general. I really enjoy traveling, but so do you. That's something we have in common. Not that it's something we've been able to do very much in recent years, but I love an adventure. But also, I don't think I could be one of those like travel bloggers who's like on the road all the time and like their job is traveling. Like I like coming home too.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I mean, that was that year I did touring and it was, constant living out of a suitcase. And it's horrific. It's tough. It's not an easy life. So those who can do it, I mean, God bless you. You're amazing. And that's such an interesting lifestyle to lead. But yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. And I think you can just, like you say, take your life and apply video game logic. And it's really fun. All you're doing basically is most days is completing side quests. And then you every now and again, you have a really good main quest that gives you such great experience points. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, exactly. So what is the latest main quest would you say that you've been on?
The latest main quest for me, oh man, I have been like in any good adventure game or whatever, there's some side quest that's incredibly silly and it's just the character either like banging someone, having a party, or like doing some silly shit. That's where I'm at. I mean, this is my last day of my Christmas holidays that we're recording this on. So frankly, I am excited to get back to some real questing. I made sure that this holiday I relax all the way. Like I've finished Netflix. It's done. It's finished.
You watched everything.
Literally, I sat in front of the TV today and I was like, there is nothing else I want to watch. I'm done. Wow. I'm caught up.
That's incredible. Now you're gonna have to get an Amazon Prime subscription, and then I mean, where to go from there?
No,
endless possibilities of like what are some good things.
What's your most recent quest been? I feel like you and Georgette have been quite a new adventure.
That has been a new adventure, but I would say that my main quest for this last year was the year itself. Let's be honest. I think 2021 was a main quest in itself. So the fact that quest is done,
true.
I'm very, very happy to have gained the experience points from that. And I think we've all leveled up in a big way.
Yeah, I'd say so. Several times, I feel.
Definitely. We all deserve those experience points and the extra levels that we've got. Hopefully, you'll use your attributes points to better your skills, and maybe health. That could be one to boost. Virility, that kind of thing.
Yeah, guys, look after your health.
Exactly. But I agree. I love the season for the silly side quest that you get. I mean,
finding
an old lady's frying pan. What a winner. What a winner. Oh, yeah. Best
exactly. Side quest. Oh, seduce this barmaid. Fantastic. Thank you.
That's all I want to do in video games. Just so easy. Oh, and talking about easy, this week we did go quite easy on things to watch. This was by far one of the easier weeks that we've done. And what films were those that we did this week, Simone?
Such a pleasure. I think I would call this the final age of 2D animation.
Definitely.
In that we did Sinbad and we did Atlantis, The Lost Empire.
Yes.
It was cool. I was so thrilled to be doing these.
It was awesome. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, I watched Sinbad this morning in bed and I just felt like a kid again. It was just so much fun.
It's so
just
much
ridiculous
fun.
Films. And you got to love them. I think this is going to be a relatively short episode because I've got very little to complain about. I don't know about you.
No notes, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just get cracking into it. What are you drinking today? Let's decide in order.
I am very slowly sipping a whiskey. We are recording this on the 2nd of January. I didn't go too hard on New Year's, but like I've said, I've been going pretty hard the last couple weeks, and it's to a point where like I can't even look at a bottle of wine. I'm sick of this stuff. I'm sick of all of it. I'm very excited. I bought so many green things at the grocery store today. I'm so excited to just like give my body a whole break. Maybe lose some of the Christmas weight. But yes, I'm very slowly, begrudgingly sipping a whiskey that I regret pouring.
Look, I applaud you for taking one for the team because, as you say, it's just been way too hard. I mean, the Christmas period is essentially 10 days of drinking. Plus, you had a wedding beforehand, so there was a lot of drinking at that as well.
So, exactly. So like the whole of December was just a
rough month for you. This is you lived your best rock star life hard. And now you need some greens in your system. Goodness me.
I need to pay the piper and give my liver a rest.
Yeah, it's just screaming up at you, just like, thank you. But yeah, you have really taken one for the team this week because I am just simply drinking a Diet Coke because I couldn't face more alcohol. It wasn't in me. I don't have that strength. You're
a better person than me. You're smarter than me.
I may be smarter than you, but you're more loyal to this podcast. So I think applause goes to you, not to me on this one. So I guess we start with Sinbad, the swashbuckler.
Sinbad. I think it's what the Legend of the Seven Seas.
Yeah, the Legend of the set. Yeah. It's Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas. Great film.
So fun. Okay, let me explain why. Sinbad, voiced by Brad Pitt, is a swashbuckling adventurer leading his faithful crew of rogues across the seven seas in search of wealth and riches. That is, until the goddess of chaos, Eris, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, decides that she actually wants to fuck around a little bit. So she interferes in what started off as a simple robbery. Sinbad is robbing a ship with Proteus, Prince Proteus at the helm. The ship is transporting the Book of Peace. But, Proteus and Sinbad are actually childhood best friends who are now estranged. So there's some very strong, not at all homoerotic tension between the two of them. And while the two of them are arguing back and forth about whether Proteus is going to let Sinbad take the book, oops, they get attacked by a huge sea monster. Sinbad helps Proteus kill the sea monster, and they bond a little bit over, like, you know, back in the day, me and you, baby. And then when Sinbad is under the water, Eris calls him in for a quick meeting. She's like, listen, steal me the Book of Peace. It would be a huge favor to me, and I'll give you like so much money. And Sinbad's like, fuck yeah, that sounds great. So they go to Syracuse, which Proteus is the prince of. And because he saved the prince's life, Sinbad and his crew are invited to a big party. Their plan is to get in, case the place, get the book, and get out. But when Sinbad is there, he meets Proteus's fiance, Marina. She is an ambassador, voiced by Catherine Zeta-Jones, and he immediately changes his mind. He's like, nah, guys, robbery is off. We're not doing this. And they're like, oh, but why? And he's like, no, it's over. Like, let's get the fuck out. Eris is not having any of this, and so she just steals the book anyway and frames Sinbad for it. Proteus is like, no, I don't, like, obviously Sinbad gets caught immediately because, like, he's not expecting to be apprehended for a crime that he did not know he supposedly committed. Proteus is like, no, I don't believe that Sinbad would do this, so actually I'll take his place. You can punish me instead of him. So Sinbad's like, okay, cool. Tell you what, I'll get the Book of Peace before Proteus is due to be executed. We'll clear all of this up because I know exactly where it is, and then it'll be fine. Naturally, when Sinbad is on the boat, he's like, fuck that, I'm going to Fiji. Luckily, Marina has stowed away on the boat too, to make sure that Sinbad actually does what he says. The two of them have sort of a enemies to lovers sort of relationship going throughout the rest of the movie, as they go on different adventures and navigate different obstacles and talk about their tragic backstories. Eventually, Sinbad does get to Tartarus, where Eris says, okay, cool, I'll give you the book if you tell me the truth about this question, which is, if you don't get the book, will you go back to Syracuse to die? And Sinbad's like, yes, I would. And Eris is like, ha, you're a liar. And she doesn't give him the book. But then Sinbad does go back because he loves Marina. And then just as the sword, the scimitar, is about to fall on his neck, Eris appears. She's really pissed off because it turns out that, yeah, Sinbad wasn't lying. She has to give him the book. Peace is restored to the kingdoms. Everyone gets to live, and Sinbad and Marina get to ride off into the distance because Proteus is like, yeah, I don't want you to stay and marry me if you don't want to be married to me, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
The end.
The end. So what is your cliffhanger?
Oh, you know what? My cliffhanger is going to be this one because I don't know if it's incredibly cringe or incredibly romantic or both. But just when Marina and Sinbad are having their like little heart to heart, and he's talking about like, you know, he was never jealous of Proteus until the ship came into the harbor. And then he saw the most, you know what? Talk about a reach.
I mean, I love it. I love it so much of where this conflict comes from in this movie. Like, what?
It's so bizarre.
It's so bizarre. I mean, why? I don't even know where to start with those two. Like, look, the chemistry is great, you know, and hearing Brad Pitt again voicing this character, excellent. Catherine Zeta-Jones, excellent, fantastic.
Love it.
Why is she in love with him? She's never really met him before. Yeah.
I think she's just in love with like the open sea, and like she associates that with Sinbad because she's gonna realize she's much better than him very quickly.
Yes, exactly, and get really bored of his shit so fast. It's his gimmicks and stuff are gonna get old very fast, and it's just gonna be very boring for her after a while.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, I love an enemies to lovers situation, or at least like a Pride and Prejudice situation where, like, you know, they're both pretending to hate each other, but they're in love.
Yes.
But like Sinbad is genuinely quite an asshole and genuinely quite sexist, and you don't actually like get any impression that his overall opinions of women have changed, just his opinion of Marina.
Exactly. And it's only because she has like done the impossible and sort of, you know,
Yeah.
pulled off things that, you know, no sailor, no ordinary sailor, man or woman, would be able to do. And yeah, you would think you would treat someone that you liked better than this. You know, he's like, oh, it was you on the boat that I loved from the moment I saw you. So this is very clearly skin deep because I had never heard you speak even or know anything about your personality. But now that you're on my boat, I'm going to treat you like shit because I want you to like me. Very confused.
I would have loved it if there was just like no romantic arc between them. Like Marina was like, no, I just want to keep like hanging out and traveling. Like, obviously we're not Sinbad. Obviously. We're not.
Not a thing. I think
look at me, look at you, you know?
Yeah, it's not like I'm gonna travel with you. We're gonna have a lot of fun, but no, not gonna happen. I think the romanticism should have come in between Proteus and Sinbad. Like, you know, that would have been such a much better conflict. I know DreamWorks 1990s not a thing, but exactly like the conflict between those two would have been so good if Sinbad's like, oh, I had to leave because of my feelings for Proteus. Touching as fuck.
Exactly. Like, oh, Proteus is marrying a woman. Like, we can't be together. Maybe something like they're denying their sexuality and now it's back.
Yes.
And
amazing.
I would have been 10,000% on board with that as a story.
Absolutely.
10 out of 10.
I mean, are you telling me?
Especially because like the society they're in seems to be fairly progressive. Like Marina's an ambassador, so and a lot of the council is women, so like there's at the very least not a lot of sexism in their kingdom. I don't know about homophobia though.
Oh, but you know, they've got secret handshakes and things. Like, yeah, well, they were in their youth. They definitely, you know, quote unquote experimented, you know. You can't say like there wasn't any steaminess when they're like clasped hands in brotherly camaraderie. Like, that was hot.
And when they fight each other, it's like, just make out already, guys.
Exactly. Stop the facade. You guys are meant to be together. Much better story than it would have been.
I'm glad it wasn't just me. Like, I feel like I'm such a teenager. Anytime there are two male characters who are friends in a movie, I'm like, what if they kissed?
Don't worry, I'm the exact same. So Suzanne Collins wrote a follow-up to the Hunger Games called the Ballad of Birds and Snakes or something like that. Snakes and Birds, I can't remember.
Yeah.
And it's basically the story of President Snow when he was a youngster, like doing the 10th Hunger Games. And he's got a friend, a male friend, and Georgette finished the book before I did, and I was like, do they kiss by the end? Because there's definitely like homoeroticism between these
surely.
Like, yeah, and she was like, why do you want every two male leads to kiss? Like, why is that a thing for you? And I'm like, why shouldn't they kiss?
Because I read a lot of fan fiction in the early 2000s. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, our childhood, it like sort of led us in this direction. Like, this is the path that every lead character goes down.
You've got to.
So yeah, they've got to. Apart from the mistaken romance, I think this movie was ace. You know, the colors are brilliant.
So fun.
Yeah, really fun.
And a fun fact, this is the last animated or 2D animated movie that DreamWorks ever did.
Wow, that's so interesting. I like that they like sort of peppered in some 3D animations with it as well. That couldn't have been easy to do.
Yeah, no, they so I mean, I don't know if this fact means anything to anyone, but apparently it was run entirely on Linux, and they just had like a fuck ton of PCs in there, obviously just trying to like process everything. So this was at a time where like 3D animation was possible, but it was incredibly expensive and janky looking. So I think they tried to meld the two and like mostly succeeded. I do think that the sea monster at the beginning was especially janky.
Yes.
But overall, I really liked the animation style of this movie. I love how fluid and beautiful it is. I love like the overall like style and art. Like, it's a very pretty movie to look at.
Definitely. And I mean, being on the high seas is always a fun excursion, and you get to do so much with that, which is really, really cool. Lots of like sweeping motions, lots of giant creatures. You know, sea monsters are always fun to do. And then Ares herself was animated so well, you know, between like 2D and 3D. Cool. It was very, very well done.
Plus and just voiced by Michelle Pfeiffer. Like I was like, oh, Eris.
Oh, hello. Yeah. And you know, the flirty attitude she had with Sinbad, just really, really fun.
She's so cool.
I think, you know, I didn't realize it until your synopsis kind of pointed it out. This whole story could have just been avoided. Ares could have just broken in and got the book for herself. Like she didn't need human influence, right?
No, but you know, she likes creating chaos. Like she can't just do things in out. Like you've got to again, when I was reading trivia about this, I learned that the other story that Eris is famous for, like in Greek mythology, is she wasn't invited to some party.
Oh, right. Okay.
And she was really mad about it. So she sent a gift to the party. It was like a golden apple or something. She was like, to the most beautiful goddess. And then a bunch of goddesses fought over who got the apple.
Excellent. Oh, what a lovely woman. That is great. That's so simple, but so good.
And apparently down the line, it led to the Trojan War. So,
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah. The Trojan War is sort of like the big one for the Greeks.
Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of petty little feuds led to that one.
Exactly. It's sort of like the Greeks, the Trojan War is the ancient Greeks version of the Avengers of Infinity War and Endgame. Like that's what it was all building up to. That's what like 1,000 years of history. It's a build up with
a bunch of side stories.
This is Poseidon and this is his origin story.
This is why Athena's mad.
And then sort of 5 years in, you've got the Hades civil war between Zeus and Poseidon, and Hades is there as well. It's the three brothers just fighting against each other.
Nice prequel.
I would watch the crap out of that. Yeah. Hephaestus then comes down.
I'd watch it
with his little broken legs and
and his incredibly hot wife.
Yeah. It makes no sense, but it just works because that's how the Greeks did things.
It just works. They're very happy.
Very, very happy. What else is there to say about this? Is there anything else that you want to sort of specifically mention?
I love the dog. Apparently, at test screenings, Spike the dog did, like, he actually got a better response than Sinbad himself. So like they made extra scenes with him in. Oh,
that's so good. I love that. That's so funny.
He's pretty cute.
He's very cute.
I also love some of the throwaway lines in this are genuinely very funny. Like there's some good stuff in there.
Definitely. You're absolutely right. Yeah, like and I never sort of see Brad Pitt as a voice actor, but he actually did surprisingly well in this.
He did a great job.
Yeah, I love this time in history when just main stars just played these roles. I mean, you know, we got Atlantis with Jamie Foxx, Michael J. Fox, as the lead. It's like definitely not Jamie Foxx.
No.
And then what's his name did Lion King. Why can I never remember his name?
Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, Ferris Bueller's guy.
Matthew Broderick.
Matthew Broderick. Yeah, you know, like these big stars just come out of the woodwork and they're just like, yeah, I'm gonna do a voice acting this time. Fantastic.
I mean, it still happens to this day. I think we're just a little less plugged into first of all, stars and animation, animated movies, compared to when we were children.
Yeah, you make a good point. You make a very good point. I would say my only sort of gripe with this movie is the tiny feet. Like, if you look at every character.
Oh, yes, the feet are very weirdly drawn.
Yeah, whoever drew the characters was like, yeah, I'm ace at everything, but just don't ask me to do feet. Like,
I don't get
can't
feet.
Do it. Yeah, I can't do wide shots. Don't ask me to draw wide shots. I can do bust and close-ups. That's all I want. Don't give me tiny feet.
Fair enough. Sometimes you come up with a style for the movie you're doing and you're like, hey, I actually didn't factor feet into this planning. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Which is why we only got like 2 scenes with feet, because they really are so off-putting.
They were so weird.
I did not enjoy Tiny Feet. Yeah.
No, I didn't enjoy that. What was your golden nugget though?
My golden nugget for this was probably Rat. I love Rat. He's just such a wonderful character. And I was just every scene that he's in, I'm absolutely amazed by his ability. I know it's animation, but I like his ability to climb ropes and move through the ropes and things was just really well done.
That was very cool.
And he was just a very cool character. And I really appreciated that. And yeah, as a side character goes, good on him. Yeah. Really appreciated Rat.
Yeah. I enjoyed the whole crew. In fact, I thought that it was full of gems.
That line about the second mate's nipples was so funny. I couldn't stop laughing at that.
I'm gonna poke someone's eyes out.
So good. What's your golden nugget?
For me, I just love little side quests and adventures. Like obviously stuff was sort of taken from all over Greek mythology. I love me a siren. I thought the siren scene was pretty fun. I also loved the giant island that turned out to be an enormous fish.
Yes,
I thought that
excellent.
I don't know. When I was a little kid, I remember watching this and my mind was just like blown.
Yeah, it's great. Like a above board anglerfish. Really clever.
Yeah.
Very, very well done.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So fun. So I guess just like all the whimsy of it.
Yeah, no, got to agree with you there. So what would you recommend this film? Do you reckon?
Yeah, it's so fun. Yeah, but I'm totally biased here because I loved the movie as a kid. So I don't know. It might be bad actually, but I like it. I thought it was fun.
I think it's great, and I think it doesn't it hasn't aged badly. It still holds up, and it's still a great film. Which actually, it leads me to the final question, I guess, for this one is why do you think it did so badly? Like, what is the reason this is not sort of like up there with obviously Lion King is Lion King, but like people don't go the greatest 90s movies of all time is like Lion King, Sinbad. Yeah. No one says it. Like, so what do you think that is?
You know what? I think people back then were fucking spoiled because I know that as we know, Atlantis didn't do well, Sinbad didn't do well, Road to El Dorado didn't do well. And with hindsight, everyone's like, oh my God, these movies were so great. We were spoiled bitches. Everyone's like, oh, I want 3D animation, even though the 3D animation was fucking awful back then.
Yeah.
If you watch the original Shrek, I defy you to tell me that animation's good. I defy you.
Ghastly, but back when it was created in the 2000s, you were just like fucking gold. Fucking like it's not gonna get better than this.
Yeah, but there was such fun stuff happening. I think people were fucking spoiled. Actually.
Look, I think you're right, actually. I think when you've got so many bangers coming out, you can't, when everything's a banger, you can't just be like, yes, this is my favorite, because everyone would be your favorite without a question.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. You make an excellent point there. They should have spread them out more.
Thank you.
Yeah, dispersed. Yeah. You're very clever. Yeah.
Nah.
Oh, no, don't do that.
I think I'm just... do you want to tell us about Atlantis? Speaking of very clever,
it's a good segue. It's a good segue.
No,
hey, compared, you know what? I think you'll find that segues are more of chance than actual manufacturing. So you know what? You set it up well. You set it up well.
You gotta try for it.
So you've got Milo, played by Michael J. Fox, who is a linguist at the Royal Museum in Washington, D.C. in 1914. His profession, and he as a scientist, doctor, philosopher guy, is not taken very serious by the society because he hasn't made any sort of big discoveries or anything. And apart from that, he's very obsessed with Atlantis and sort of the mythology behind Atlantis and it's the sinking of the city. So no one really takes him seriously. We join him on the day that he's supposed to speak to the board of scientists about this. Unfortunately, they change the meeting time, and basically he chases them down, and they're like, yeah, bro, listen, not going to happen. Never going to happen. It's bullshit. Go away. That night he goes home. He's super disappointed in this, and that's when he walks into his house and finds Helga, voiced by Claudia Christian. She basically tells him that there's this guy who wants to fund his expedition to Atlantis. They go to meet him, and it's a guy called Preston Whitmore, played by John Mahoney. John Mahoney basically says to him that his great-granddad Thaddeus was a good friend of his, that he was in search of a book that would give the location of Atlantis. And when eventually, but unfortunately, Milo's grandfather was unable to find the book before he died. Luckily, Preston continued with the voyage in trying to find it after his death, and lo and behold, he found it. Knowing that the legacy of Thaddeus wanted to continue that, he instructs Milo to join in his team. On the team, you have Cookie, who is the doctor, voiced by Jim Varney. You've got Moliere, voiced by Corey Burton, who is the ammunitions and explosive expert. Helga, as we've said before, is sort of the fighty leader person. Then you've got Rourke, voiced by James Gardner, who is the team captain, essentially. Oh, sorry, Cookie is not the doctor. Dr. Sweet is the doctor. Voiced by Phil Morris. I made a mistake. Cookie is the gross little digger. He's the digging expert, I believe. Yeah, I mean, people can correct me if I'm completely wrong on that. And then you've got Miss Packard, who is sort of the communications expert. So they all venture off following Milo and his instructions led by the book. They eventually, lo and behold, find Atlantis. The Atlanteans are actually pretty happy as they are from the beginning. They meet Princess Kida, played by Cree Summer. She starts speaking to Milo in Atlantean. He responds in Atlantean, and that kind of softens her up, and the rest of the sort of security relax, and they go to meet the king, who is voiced by Leonard Nimoy, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I know. The Atlantean king is basically like, yo, no outsiders, please get out of here. We can't have you people here. Kida is all about, since the Great Flood, our society has kind of gone to shit. We kind of need someone from outside who could maybe help us. They have a bit of a fight. It's fine. As the movie progresses, Milo and Kida get closer together. They sort of fall in love. When it's finally revealed, oh no, Rourke is actually a bad guy. He wants to essentially steal the Atlanteans' power source, which is actually a source of unlimited power generated by this sort of ball of energy, sort of god sentient being thing. Rourke essentially wants to steal it, bring it back to the surface, and sell it to the highest bidder. Unfortunately, he is able to do so by killing the Atlantean king and trapping Milo and the rest of the crew down there. Originally, the rest of the crew were also on Rourke's side, but then they realized, hey, killing people is kind of wrong.
This is fucked up.
Stealing their energy source, and not a great idea. So eventually, Rourke decides to bury them. This is when the Atlanteans take action. They find their sort of ancient flying machines. With the help of Milo, he teaches them how to use them, and they stop Rourke and are able to save Atlantis, bringing the power source back to them. Kida then becomes the queen. Milo decides to stay with them, and the rest of the team head back home, rich as anything. The end.
The end. Chad, what is your cliffhanger?
It has to be this one, and it's when they first meet the Atlanteans and they're speaking in Atlantean, and they tend to Mexican and then French and whatever. And I've chosen this one because it's actually a really cute meet cute.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, in terms of all the times when protagonists meet and fall in love, this is actually a really lovely little scene.
He actually speaks her language.
Yeah, nice. It's really nice. And he's there not as a savior. His intention was never to save them. He was just there to be there and just explore it.
He just wanted to know.
Exactly. And I really appreciate that from sort of, you know, an early 90s movie where this could have very much gone sort of white savior direction.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, this was very much just like them cleaning up their own mess, as far as I could tell. And it was interesting because obviously we see a lot of movies like this where like well-meaning dude comes to hang out with native people. His whatever nation or whatever he's from tries to exploit them, and he's like, no. But it's interesting because usually, like, I mean, for like if I'm thinking of like Pocahontas and stuff, you see it very much from the perspective of like the native peoples. And this one you see much more from the perspective of like the well-meaning white guy. I also had to laugh because at one point, maybe I'll add this clip in too if I'm feeling generous while editing. At one point too, you know, he's like, oh, he's talking to Kita. He's like, what's your name? And she pronounces this longish name. It's just more than 3 syllables. It's not that bad. But he's like he tries to pronounce it poorly, which is so weird because he's a linguist. Like you think he would just pick it up. And then he's like, oh, what can I call you? And she's like, oh yeah, you can just call me Kita. And it's like, is there a more white person knee-jerk reaction than but what can I call you? I couldn't possibly learn to pronounce your whole name.
It's really ridiculous. It's so bad. And I mean, that's why, you know, so many people of different ethnicities and origins have a white people name because it's so frequent in their lives.
So annoying.
You know, it's ridiculous. We can pronounce Chipotle, but we can't pronounce, like, you know, a African name or an Asian name. It's deeply upsetting. And this movie sort of exemplifies that in itself. Yeah, you have a very good point there.
No, the number of people I know here who are like, I'm like it'll just come up. They'll be like, oh yeah, the name you've been calling me, it's not my real name at all. It's just the name that I use now because it's easier for white people to pronounce. And you're like, oh, we're the worst.
Yeah, what have we done?
We are the worst.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, terrible, awful. I also love like little things. For example, so when we meet what's his name, the professor Preston Whitmore, in his fish tank is some what are they called now? The fish, the ancient fish.
Sorry, I don't even remember seeing. What?
I literally
coelacanths? Oh, those are the only ancient fish I can think of. Oh, awesome.
Amazing. You know me. You've got this. We would be great at a game of charades. We would smash it.
We would. How would you charade a coelacanth?
I would probably go like old, so like a mustache, or like I'd bend over and do like a little hobble. And then I would do like a fish. So it's like old fish. And then I would think you would get like old fish, or like if you got old fish, I would be like, go further back, like, you know, ancient fish, and then you would go.
It's the missing link.
Brilliant. Okay, cool. So at least we got something there. So we're like
sorted.
Links, take them apart, and then look around. Missing? Yeah, brilliant. I think that's a new podcast. It's good we
strategize about this. That's very cool.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna need it. We're gonna need it for like couples dates and things. Yeah, we can smash it out. I think that would actually make a really good podcast as well, is us doing charades with each other.
Oh, so fun for an audio medium.
Definitely. It is the thing. I mean, this last 2 minutes, gold. Podcasting gold right there.
You're so welcome, listeners.
But yes, as I was saying, and thanks to your help there, he's got like a fish tank of coelacanths. And I think that's absolutely brilliant because they were thought extinct until 1938. So this movie came out in 1914. Well, sorry, this movie is set in 1914. Yeah, and so at that point, no coelacanths had been found. So this movie is just really like a really well thought out thing with like.
Yeah, that is a cool little detail that I hadn't noticed.
Yeah, and I appreciate like little things like that. You know, the other one is like the animation of Helga you know, she's just animated very sexy, right?
Yeah, she's very cool.
Yeah.
Sexy but angry.
Exactly. Like the way her hips sway, it's very akin to Hercules. Megara in Hercules.
She's even got similar eyebrows.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah. So what did you like about it? What do you think overall of Atlantis?
You know, again, I think like visually it's so beautiful. Like I love the animation style of it. I thought it was a lot more consistent than the style in Sinbad. Like yeah. But yes, I loved it. I loved the character design. I loved each and every crew member, even the evil ones or the weird ones. I just loved them all. I really like that they managed to give them very distinct personalities in a very small amount of time, and by the end you're just like rooting for all of them. Yeah, I think I love, like, also this just has some really fun comedic moments and throwaway lines where you're like, definitely. It's so quick as well. Like the dialogue in this is very fast. So if you're not paying attention, you actually do miss like some excellent little pieces of dialogue that are so funny.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's one you do have to pay attention to, and I think it's what made sort of DreamWorks really good. You know, and not saying that they're bad now, but you know, this was a time where sort of there were really good throwaway lines for adults as well. So you know, it wasn't just for the kids to go and watch. Like adults enjoyed these films too. And I think that is some true beautiful artwork where you can, you know, appeal to both kids and adults.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. I think, you know, not saying that, you know, animation studios have become lazy nowadays, but with our generation and our generation having kids, it's much easier to appeal to adults because, you know, as millennials are very aware, we're just children still.
We're just big babies.
Yeah.
Big, dumb, easy to market to babies.
Yeah. Give us lots of deep color and we're happy. That's all we need in our lives.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
Love a good coloration. Yeah.
And I also like, I just also want to be like super clear. I think our audience knows us well enough to know, like, we're not like, oh, things were just better back then. Like there's some beautiful fucking animation coming out now too. I think this was just like a very particularly special moment in time for us where we were as kids. And like, in general, it is still like these movies are still so cool and so beautiful. So that's where we're coming from there.
No, you're absolutely right.
I just don't want to seem like some millennial, like, oh, you know, back in our day.
Yeah. Oh, it's so much better. No, we're not like that at all. No. I mean, you spoke about this on last week's minisode, but you know, Encanto, you know, you fucking texted me while you were watching it and you just like were crazy about it. And I was the same like a couple of weeks ago. It's insane. It's such a good film.
I was sobbing. Rudy had to come in and calm me down.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh, but yeah, I think this movie is absolutely great as well. I think, like you said, it's brilliant for what it is in its time, and I think just because it came out with so many other bangers, it was left behind, which is such a travesty.
Yeah, because I feel like it's gotten a bit of a renaissance now. Like people are remembering how cool this movie is, because I know a lot more people are like dressing up as characters from the movie for Halloween now. And I follow a fashion subreddit on Reddit, not that you can tell, and someone did like a lookbook based off of all the female characters.
Oh, fantastic.
And like, yeah, different like fashion styles and stuff based. It was so cool. The one for Helga, I was like, oh my god,
that's great. That is a good one. That would be a great one to do. So what is your golden nugget for this?
My golden nugget for this, I mean, I like it overall so much, so I'm like just struggling to pick one thing is where I'm coming from.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I actually really like Milo and his character growth. Moments that stood out to me too for this bit is he keeps trying to, I think, do this like traditionally masculine thing of like, you know, he helps fix the engine of the one car at some point, and the girl's like she's not even that interested. She's like, what did you do? And he's like, oh, actually, you know, we have a similar engine to this at the university, and I just fixed it, I did this. And she's like, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
so cool. Like, she's not impressed.
Mhm,
And he learns
mhm.
very quickly that his mansplaining is not going to get him very far. And he does the same to Kita at some point too,
Mhm,
right? I think when she's trying to start the motorcycle thing, and she's also
mhm.
like cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're so right. You're so right. And I think that is, yeah, it's a nice little touch. I think this
Yeah.
movie is built up of those nice little touches. Definitely. Yeah,
It's
you're
cool
absolutely
having I think this is it. It's cool having a very desperately uncool main character.
Yeah, exactly. It like feeds to the narrative that like lead characters do not have to be the super suave cool guy who can do everything.
No.
Like Milo has a very, very particular set of skills, and he is useless.
And he's not even that great
else.
at that.
No. Yeah, exactly. And so now you're entrusting this whole organization into him, and it's like, okay, yeah, fine.
And he finds another girl who'll nerd out with him about this very particular culture.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think my golden nugget for this one has to be that this movie went very dark, and it really didn't have to, but it just adds to the flavor of it. Like 200 people die very early on in this film. The Atlantean king dies. Rourke is just an absolute jerk, and everyone is sort of like, yeah, we're in it for the money. And like, it's only really, really towards the end when Milo guilts them into not going for the money and realizing that things are wrong, does it turn around. And I think it's really good that they were just like, yeah, people do die on expositions, kids. This shit ain't just pretty colors and stuff. Like, people are gonna die and people are gonna get hurt, and it's gonna suck
in so many ways.
It's lovely.
I mean, the only way it would have been more accurate to like actual expeditions into unknown territory back then was like, not enough people died of dysentery.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, but that would have been a really weird film sort of animation.
Yeah, that would have been a weird scene. I get it. You can't put everything in a kid's movie. It's fine.
And obviously you would recommend this, yes?
Yeah, it's so fun. It's also like just a cool like little bite of a time in history. I don't know. It's cool. It's weird.
Yeah, exactly. I got to agree with you. I think, yeah, don't worry about the second one. The second one never happened. There was no second film. What are you talking about?
There was a second one?
There was, but don't worry about it. Seriously.
Okay.
Just watch this one. Just watch this one.
Noted.
You can ignore everything else. But yeah, Go check it out. Like, of a golden era. This is just another one to add to that side of things. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, there you have it, Simone. What an amazingly fun week we've had. This has been lovely.
It has been lovely, hasn't it? It was just a nice little trip down memory lane. I got to sit this weekend and watch my cartoons.
Did Rudy watch them with you this week?
No, he was doing his own thing. He came in at the beginning of Atlantis and then left and then came back at the end, and I was like, oh, you just in time, they've saved Atlantis. And he was like, what did they save it from? And I was like,
themselves.
Capitalism.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah. Oh, goodness me. That's why DreamWorks didn't do so well, and these movies didn't do so well. It was the Red Scare all over again.
What is this communist agenda?
So what do we feel like doing next week? Any ideas?
No, I actually hadn't had any ideas.
Me either. I was thinking maybe like a sports one, but then again, I know how much you hate sport. So
I really do. I would really prefer not to do sport if that's at all possible.
Absolutely. Don't worry. I'm having an idea. I had an idea in honor of the most spectacular woman on the planet, Betty White's death. What if we did Betty White films?
Yeah, that would be good.
So I'm just trying to see what she's in.
Get her up on IMDb. Because she was in some pretty horrific movies.
Yeah.
because she was a funny lady and she liked doing funny things. Like,
yeah, she just did what she wanted to do. Good on her.
Yeah, that's why everybody loved her so much.
Yeah, I mean, and when you've got Golden Girls money.
True.
God, she did a lot of
Jesus,
TV.
yeah. I forgot she was in Community. She was so good.
Oh, she was so brilliant in that.
She was in The Proposal, but I think The Proposal did too well.
I think we did The Proposal, didn't we?
No, I think it did too well. Oh, it was mostly series for her too. Maybe we shouldn't do Betty White.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yep. I thought otherwise we could do some of the rom-coms that came out in 2021.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. So, worst rom-coms.
I'm getting a lot of of all time, and it's like, no, I just need them. Okay,
I'm also
what are
getting
the
that
first
exact thing.
Oh, okay. I've got the worst Netflix movies of 2021.
Same. Open the chat. What's this? I'm on Oprah Daily.
Oh.
Which
Open in the Window was apparently not great. We already did Afterlife of the Party.
Yeah.
Oh, we could do He's All That.
Which one was He's All That? He's All That. Oh, yeah. I don't like that guy's face. That's cool. Okay, Good on Paper got 51%.
Yeah, I've seen Good on Paper. It's pretty okay. Yeah.
Okay, so we could do that. I'm just having a look if there's anything else. That's sort of like... Okay, so I've got here Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar as a rom-com.
I've also I did see it listed as a rom-com, but I assumed it did too well because I fucking loved that movie.
One of the best movies of all time. Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar. What are we looking at here? 80%. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. It was perfect. It was fucking hilarious.
Oh, what an incredible movie that was.
Oh, we are struggling, Chad.
It was a good year, I think, for rom-com.
So we could do Good on Paper and He's All That. That should be fine.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah. Sick. Okay, so He's All That, Good on Paper. Lovely.
Lovely.
Okay, let me just write that down because I will forget.
Exactly.
He's All That.
Do you want to lead me in? He's All That, yeah.
And
it's a remake of She's All That, but
I may watch She's All That just to get in.
Yeah,
there.
I might have to.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll lead you in. Right. So what do we feel like doing next week?
So we're still clearly just testing the waters of 2022 and still doing stuff that's pretty fun. So we're going to do some rom-coms that came out in 2021 that we never got around to. And that is going to be He's All That, plus Good on Paper, which I have seen, and it's pretty fun. It has its moments.
Okay, I'm excited about it. I mean, as far as rom-coms from 2021 go, this is, the best of a bad situation. I mean, it could be Happiest Season again. We could be watching that. That's a rom-com from,
I will only watch Happiest Season again if they make a version where Kristen Stewart does not get back together with her girlfriend.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more on that. So yeah, I think, and you know what, we deserve it. All right. We've done this podcast for this is our 4th year in the podcast. We're just, taking a lovely break.
We're coasting, guys.
Yeah.
We're coasting.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Well, there you go. So what is your gratitude for this week?
My gratitude for this week is all things vegetably and green.
Yes.
Chad, vegetables are so delicious. I've missed them. I've just been making myself, obviously it's summer here now too, so I've just been making myself like lovely, fresh, delicious things. And it's so nice. I'm very excited to stay on this train.
Good on you. I think we deserve it. I think your body just needs that health kick. It just needs the fiber. It needs those vitamins. Just get them in your body. Body. And there's nothing, a good salad, beautiful. Changes lives. Salad. Yes. Brilliant.
Yeah. I'm so the day I learned how to make a really good vinaigrette for myself was like a game changer, because I always hated salads, and it turns out that like normal salad dressings just have way too much sugar to be enjoyable.
No, it's either too oily or too sugary, and it's
gross.
Not a thing. No. There you go, guys. That's your health tip for this week. If you don't like salad, it's because you're putting shitty salad dressings on them.
Yeah, make your own vinaigrette. It doesn't take that long, and it's so worth it.
No. And another tip: put grapes in a salad. People really sleep on grapes in a salad. Life changing.
I love fruit in a salad. I like putting mango in salads.
Yes, that's good too. That is really good too. Yum yum.
Yeah.
Good. There you go, kids.
Gotta mix up your flavors.
Yeah. Don't say we don't teach you anything.
But don't put raisins in coleslaw. That's fucking disgusting.
Who even would do that?
I know.
Did you learn that tip from Ted Bundy?
A thing. No, it's apparently a fucking thing. It's some people. No. It's like a traditional thing to put raisins in coleslaw.
Oh, get out!
And and then the other week I had coleslaw with raisins in, and I was like I felt tricked.
No, that's awful. That is awful. I'm sorry you had to live through that. That's horrible.
Raisins and mayonnaise should never meet.
No.
I'm gonna say it.
No, I agree with you. That is not a controversial thing to say. I couldn't agree with you more.
They're not friends. They don't belong together.
No, if anyone wants to challenge us on this, do it. I want to meet you so I can immediately block you from my life. I don't need that level.
And I don't want your fucking coleslaw recipe. I don't want to. You haven't tried it like this. No, raisins don't belong there.
I've never tried meth, but I'm pretty sure it's bad for me. Just like raisins and mayo.
Unbelievable.
I would say my gratitude for this week is fancy things. So for this New Year's, Georgette and I just spent the weekend in Bath, and we had like set aside a certain amount of money. So we went to like the fancy restaurants and everything. I mean, I tried lobster for the first time, which
How
was
did you
insane.
like it?
Oh, it was delicious. So good. So good.
Nice.
And yeah, like we just had like loads of fancy foods. And, at one point we had a sourdough with garlic butter, and just life-changing. Nice. So honestly, like I can understand why rich people want to stay rich, but but this should be accessible to everyone. Good food like that.
I love a fancy restaurant.
Yeah, so I'm very grateful for this food excursion that I've been on over the last week. It's been incredible.
Awesome.
Yeah, and now it's time to work that stuff off with lovely greens. So all comes back. Yay, greens. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. We really do appreciate you. Eat your greens as well, but tell us what you're grateful for. What are you going into 2022 with? What sort of, resolutions do you have? What do you want to try more of this year? What frightens you that you don't want to frighten you this year? What are you feeling particularly proud of that has happened in the last year that you want to share with the world?
Tell us.
Including us, which you can tell us where, Simone.
You can talk to us on Facebook or Instagram at Fresh Tomatoes Podcast, on Twitter at Fresh Tomatoes MP. You can email us at freshtomatoespodcast@gmail.com.
There you have it. And as we say at the end of every episode, we love you and there's nothing you can do about it.
We love you and there's nothing you can do about it.
Goodbye. Bye.